In this week's Torah portion, Truma, we learn about how to make this physical world an abode for the spiritual and for the holy. Shalom, my friends. This is Akiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. After 2 weeks ago, learning about the giving of the Torah, the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai, and after last week's Torah portion, which was filled with so many different kinds of laws, mitzvot, commandments, this week we come to a whole new topic, which we will revisit over and over again throughout many different weeks, many different Torah portions of the Torah, and that is the introduction of the Tabernacle, or as we call it in Hebrew, the Mishkan. Right? The Israelites are commanded from God through Moses to build a tabernacle, to build a Mishkan, a holy place, a holy sanctuary, made out of all different kinds of materials. And the beginning of this week's Torah portion basically starts off kind of like a shopping list of all the different materials that need to be brought in order to build this tabernacle, this sanctuary. Right? And the Torah portion begins off talking about Truma. Truma means donation in Hebrew. And the Israelites are told by Moses to give, to come and open up your heart and to give whatever you want to give, whatever you feel moved and motivated to give, give. And it's very interesting because this tabernacle, which will become the central and most important and most holy piece and part of the Israelites' lives during the 40 years of their journeying through the desert, and also as well for hundreds and hundreds of years into their life in the land of Israel once they get there, is built out of materials that were donated by people, by individuals. No certain amount needed to be given. No obligation was given to anyone. If someone didn't want to give, they didn't have to. If someone wanted to give a ton, they were allowed to. If someone wanted to give just a little bit, that's fine. It all came from the heart. And it's an interesting lesson. It's an interesting teaching that a place like this holy sanctuary, right, needed to come out of ratzon, out of desire, out of people wanting to give, to be part of it, right? And this collective giving, this collective opening of the hearts is exactly the only way to build such a place of holiness. Now let's remind ourselves what happens in the tabernacle was all kinds of offerings and all kinds of sacrifices, right? Once the tabernacle is built, right, and one of the things that gets built is a mizbeach, is an altar on which sacrifices will be brought, offerings will be brought there as well, gifts of thank you and of thanksgiving, gifts and sacrifices of atonement, right? Once, once this is built, this will be their main place of worship. This will be the temple. This will turn into the temple, in fact, in Jerusalem, hundreds of years forward in Jewish history. So this is the place. This is the one place. Back then, Jews didn't have synagogues in every town, in every corner. They had one essential place of worship, of connecting to God. And in this week's Torah portion, God tells Moses, right, that gives the commandment to build this, right, to asuli mikdash, right, make me a sanctuary, a holy place, v'shechanti b'tocham, and I will dwell within them. Now it's interesting, and all the commentators pick up on this. You would think God would say, build me a sanctuary and I will dwell in it. Okay, that this will be kind of like a house of God in this world, a physical home for the absolute spiritual. But God doesn't say that. God says, build me a sanctuary and I will dwell in them. And all the commentaries say that once this tabernacle is built, right, as a result of all these donations of all these different kind of materials, and there's wood and there's gold and there's copper and there's fabrics and there's all kinds of pieces that are needed to build this tabernacle and all kinds of pieces that are given by the nation in order to build it. But once it is built, right, this will be a house for God. But God is saying, I will dwell amongst all of you. The whole purpose of this, God doesn't need anything. God doesn't need a sanctuary, right? This is for the nation. God's saying, build me the sanctuary so I can dwell amongst you. So my presence, and through my presence, my purpose for you will be felt amongst the nation. And that's the real reason for the building of this tabernacle. So we see this beautiful, beautiful thing happening. The nation is being asked for donations of all these different kinds of physical materials in order to put together a tabernacle that will serve as a home for God in this world, but even more importantly, as a place through which God can dwell among the nation. Okay, and what we see here is that physical objects are becoming holy. Physical objects from wood to fabrics to metals are being taken and fashioned in such a way, in a certain way, in order to create a holy place, a spiritual place out of physical objects. And that, there, my friends, is the whole essence of the tabernacle, of the Torah, of Judaism, is taking the physical and using it for holy purposes, using it in a way that brings more holiness and goodness, positivity, and spirituality into the world. We see that very strongly with the construction of the tabernacle that we're starting to learn about this week, and we'll learn about for many more weeks to come throughout the future Torah portions of the Torah. And we'll continue to learn about the aspects and the different pieces and parts of the tabernacle, their function, their purpose, and how it all plays together, it all comes together to play a part in this bigger vision of bringing holiness into the world, into this physical world, through physicality, through physical objects. All the best, my friends, and Shabbat Shalom.